most part, people don't really take the time to acknowledge the impact that having false expectations can have on your relationships and your connections with others. So let's look at it like this. Imagine that you're going into a theater to see a movie. You're super excited about it because it's been hyped up as one of the greatest films of the year. All your friends and family, they've seen it. They're encouraging you to go see it. You've read all of the reviews. You've seen all of the exciting trailers. So you get into this theater expecting some sort of cinematic masterpiece. But as soon as the credits roll, you feel like you were duped. The movie was just very underwhelming, and you even start to reevaluate your relationships with the company that you keep because they all led you to believe that this was going to be some spectacular movie. Basically, the movie didn't live up to the expectations that you created for it in your head. And this feeling of disappointment is not unlike what happens in our connections and relationships with others when we set all of these false expectations. False expectations are the silent saboteurs of your connections and relationships. They are the unspoken demands that we tend to place on our partners and friends, family, coworkers, whoever. Demands that are too often unrealistic and uncommunicated. We don't talk about these things. We just expect that they're going to happen. These expectations can stem from a variety of sources like social norms, your past experiences, or even your own insecurities and desires. When we expect our partners to read our minds, to always know the right thing to say or do, we immediately set ourselves up for the greatest disappointments that we can imagine. We create standards that are impossible to meet. And when these expectations are inevitably not met, we feel let down, hurt, and confused. The danger of false expectations lies not only in the disappointment that they cause, but also in the pressure that they put on other people. It's it's as if we hand them a script for a play that they've never read and then become frustrated when they miss their cue or fumble a line. This can lead to a cycle of resentment and misunderstanding that slowly erodes the foundation of trust and communication that all healthy relationships are built upon. So instead of talking about how we can react to false expectations, let's talk about how to prevent them from happening in the first place. How do we navigate the storm of false expectations or unrealistic expectations? Well, the first step is having awareness. Having awareness is going to take a lot of self reflection and personal accountability because we have to recognize and acknowledge the expectations that we're setting, not just for ourselves, but mostly for other people, where they come from and why we have them. Are they fair to all parties involved? Are they even realistic? And most importantly, have we communicated these expectations to the intended party and had a conversation with them about it? Is it something that they're even able or willing to perform? And this leads us into the second step, which is communication. Expectation requires open and honest conversations with others about needs and desires. Needs and desires are, too many people will conflate them as if they're the same thing when they are not. What you need and what you want are not the same thing. So if you are expecting people to feed your wants and you have very low expectations of meeting your needs, you're going to have a problem, especially if you are not communicating this with the other person that you're putting these expectations on. Now, this does not mean that we lower our standards or accept poor treatment in order to not have false expectations. It means that we need to create a space where expectations can be expressed, discussed, and negotiated. It may also include a conversation about seeking interaction somewhere else if these expectations cannot be met by both parties. It's okay to walk away. But if you choose not to walk away, then you can move on to the third step, which is having flexibility. Life is unpredictable and people are very complex. So we have to be willing to adjust our expectations in light of new information and understanding that change is a constant in our lives and in our relationships and connections with other people. Nothing's going to stay the same all the time. When you really think about it, it takes a really selfish individual to make demands or reprimands when the people around them don't feed into their false sense of entitlement. Expectations need to be rooted in reality with care and kindness. You have to be able to communicate with clarity and have the ability to listen with an open heart. Because at the end of the day, the beauty of relationships lies not with how well others can meet our expectations, but in how well we receive, love, and care about them and accept them when they don't.